Hey, my name is Jens. How are you? I want to say I'm really, really great and super excited and happy, but I'm feeling a little like blah today. I'm freezing. Okay, I'm trying to leave Vietnam. I was supposed to leave on Monday. But then my spirit doesn't want to leave, and I'm forcing the leaving issue, right? I'm like forcing it. I try to call the airline, and everything's going like barely up. I can't reach my airline. I'm not trying to change my flight ticket. I'm actually trying to confirm my checked baggage because if I don't buy checked baggage by tomorrow, it makes no sense for me to leave because basically buying checked baggage is going to cost me a lot more flying from Vietnam to Thailand than if I just booked a whole new ticket. And if I'm going to book a whole new ticket, it's better for me to actually book a ticket later, like my spirit is telling me to do. So I've been forcing this checked baggage issue for a week, and the online agent I used has given me the runaround. Oh, just like the worst nightmarish thing. And yeah, I know I could just surrender and be like, F it. It's actually, and the checked baggage for this particular airline actually there's only literally $20 or like about a 300 Rand difference between just buying a whole new flight and buying checked baggage on another airline at a later date. So yeah, like I'm so like I just want to leave Vietnam now. I'm good. I'm ready for Thailand again. And then maybe I'll head back to South Africa for a few weeks to see my mom and my family, and then head back to Thailand again. But yeah, it looks like I'm going to be in Vietnam a little longer than I wanted to be. And I guess that's okay. I'm sure there's a reason. The good news is that one of my friends has arrived from Thailand. So she's here. She's staying at the same villa as me. So we're doing like friend stuff. So that's really good. And she keeps asking me, are you leaving? Are you staying? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I really want to leave, but life, yeah. So it looks like I'll be in Vietnam a week longer. But anyway, back to today's income lesson. Actually, I feel better actually just talking about that, right? A little better. I still want to leave Vietnam, but like, I guess I'll surrender a little bit by tonight. Just accept, because if they don't respond to my email, now I've given up. Now I'm just sending tons of emails. If they don't respond by tonight, then it's fine. It means that I should just stay. Anyway, back to the last two discussions that we had and the discussions that we've been having over the last week in this group. Okay, so let me introduce myself. If you don't know who I am, I'm Vangile and I'm the founder of the Money Magicians group, but I'm also the founder of Wealthy Money, where we help women unlock their inner money gurus so they can stop worrying about money and just live their best lives. So this week, we were talking about income and ease and increasing income and how to do that when you have absolutely nothing, right? Or it seems like you have nothing. So there's a beautiful quote from A Course in Miracles where they say, it is not possible not to have, but it is possible to not know. It is possible to not know that you have, right? So it's not possible to never have anything, because even your breath and your life is you having something, right? And yet it's possible to not know that you have something. So I love to repeat this quote when I think that I have no way out, right? That out of resources and I'm out of ideas. Because the truth is, it's possible for us not to know that we have resources at our disposal, because the things that we take for granted may actually be valuable to someone else, right? So what I shared around Jane and wanting to increase her income was that she wanted to increase her income, but she doesn't have a degree. She doesn't have a grade 12. She doesn't have grade 12 being matric. I mean, she does have matric. Sorry, she has matric. She has grade 12, but she doesn't have a degree. So she doesn't have this formal higher education. And she has a daughter. She wants a better life for her daughter and all the good things that we all want, right? And I think what most of us would say then is that go look for a job. But she's been looking for a job. And then here's the thing is that she's very specific about the job that she wants. And I think this is really important because I'll touch on to why I'm mentioning this, right? So she's very specific about the job that she wants. She wants a job that will start a little later so she can take her daughter to school, and then go pick up her daughter after school. So most people would say beggars can't be choosers. Jane must just hustle and just accept that this is the way that things are for her, right? That she can't have everything. She needs to make a choice and she needs to compromise on things. Except one of the things that I shared on the post on Thursday was that, but what about your values, right? So this is how we often approach money and making money and creating an income or creating extra streams of income or even building a business. We just basically go with what everyone has told us, right? Is that this is what you should do. And then that thing doesn't work for you. Or it works for you, but it feels like murder to your soul. It feels like something you can't do. For example, when I was really heavily in debt and starving and broke, obviously the most obvious and natural thing was to go, Van, you have an MBA, go and get a finance job and go get a degree. Go get a finance job and go get a paycheck, which I also believed wholeheartedly. And I went after that. And guess what? I applied and applied. Deep down, I knew that my purpose or my calling or whatever, the thing that brings me joy or is part of my value system is writing and this whole journey of spirituality. Like spirituality is a deep value for me, right? It's like a lot of things happened at the Sri Lankan retreat that triggered me to question myself and what I stand for. And what do I do? I go back to my core values and I was like, okay, Vipassana is the way for me. Meditation is the way for me. The inner child healing is the way for me. And that's literally what I did. Coaching is the way for me. So I went to my coaches. I did the whole self-development route to anchor myself and to ground myself again, because your values are your guiding light when everything goes belly up and you're triggered and you're questioning yourself. You can use your values to help you get through things, right? Anyway, your values are also the key, not just in how we spend money, but in also how we make money. So what most of us do is we just like anything for money, right? I need money, anything for money. And then we wonder why a year later you're completely exhausted, or 3 years down the line, you can't stand anyone or anything. You come home, you scream at your kids, you resent everyone, your relationships are breaking down because you're out of alignment with your core values. And that lack of alignment and that misalignment is basically causing havoc in every other area of your life. So yeah, you're making money and you're making bank, but what about relationship wealth? What about health as wealth, right? What about just a well-being as wealth, right? So at the end of the day, all that money that you're making ends up going to paying for health issues. You're not understanding why you're falling sick out of the blue. You're not understanding why your parenting skills are so out of whack. You want to be a better mom, but you just can't. You find yourself screaming. All these things is because something is out of alignment. And the further we go out of alignment in terms of our value system, the more everything else tends to suffer. And yes, for some of us, we may not think relationships with friends and family and our kids is wealth, but it is, right? Because at the end of the day, all of us need a support system, and even if it's not a support system, you want to be around people that give you joy. Money is not the only thing that's going to give us joy in this world. Money makes it easier for us to get the resources that will facilitate the having of joy, that will enable us to buy the plane tickets, to go on vacation, to go traveling. But at the end of the day, it's also about the people in our lives, right? So anyway, back to my story about how I was on that. I bought into that yes, anything for money. I'm in debt. I need a job. I need to utilize this degree. Never mind that there was nothing about a job in the investment banking sector that aligned with my values. But hey, I needed money. So I spent like 2 years looking for a job. And I kid you not, I would go through the entire interview process. And some of the interview process, it would be like so good. Like they'd give tests and examples of what can you do with this investment portfolio, or what can you do if a client comes in with this. And I would be like, really, really great. So Queen, you say core values. Thank you, Vangile. Yes. So I would be like on this whole tip of, yes, I'll do everything correctly, and not to blow my own horn, but I would literally be doing really, really great at all that mathematical stuff, or just like the questions, the case studies that they gave us, the teamwork. And this actually would happen. They would forget sometimes to even get back to me with a yes or a no, or they'd be like, oh, we meant to get back to you. Or my best part was when I interviewed with a company in Boston in Massachusetts, and then in the middle of the interview process, they started laying off people. Yeah. They started retrenching people, and they were like, actually, we really can't be hiring right now, right? So I was like, what? So I kept thinking, I just need to keep going. But at the back of my mind was this thing that, you really love writing, and your core values is this idea of really understanding yourself and self-development and self-awareness and self-discovery and going on the spiritual journey. But bigger voice in my head was like, there's no money in meditation. You're going to starve to death. Like, how are you going to talk about meditation and money and spirituality and money and not talk about positive thinking and affirmations and visualization? Like, people are going to think you're crazy. You want to talk and write about healing. And of course, because after a while of fighting, I eventually surrendered because nobody was hiring me, right? And the jobs that I was getting was from my own company, where I started a company and I was tutoring and consulting for people on the side. But I still wanted the job because I believed that the most constant paycheck would be to get a job, right? And after all, my thinking was, I've gotten all this education and taken out student loans. I'm in debt because of this, right? So I must utilize it. And that was the message that was coming through. So I eventually decided, okay, I'm going to move back home to the village. I left Boston, packed up my whole life in the US, moved back to South Africa, moved to Chagastad. And I was just like, okay, what am I going to do now? And I'm still thinking, okay, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to do the investment thing in South Africa. And you guys already know, long and short stories, I ended up writing Heart, Mind, and Money. Because at the same time that all this was going on, the inner work that I was doing was allowing me to pay off debt and do all these things without a paycheck. But the thing is, again, not knowing that you have, I still thought the only way to pay off the debt and the only way to make a living and the only way to do anything was to get that job. And even though my soul, every time I would sit with it, my soul would feel heavy, kind of like how I'm feeling about leaving Vietnam, right? It's like, want to leave, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, just stay. I'm like, but why? I've been here for weeks. But it was the same kind of thing, right? It was like, I'd sit and I'd feel into it, feel into the interviews, feel into sending the resumes, and it never felt light and easy, right? And again, and I'll touch on ease again, because ease is not saying that you're not doing any work and there's no challenges, but it just didn't feel light. It didn't feel easy, but I forced it. And then, of course, when Heart, Mind, and Money was published, it gave birth to Wealthy Money. And the irony of all ironies is that by building a company by actively building a company that is aligning with my core values of travel, spirituality, self-development, education, all these things, they're merging, right? And that's how I've been able to make a living. That was the thing that really that enabled me to make a living. And the other thing is, it's not that it's easy and it's all chilled out. Fam, I was coaching until 4 a.m. This morning, Saturday morning, my time, right? But in South Africa, my coaching session was from 8 p.m. till 11 p.m. I had a client at that time. I had to sleep during the day on Friday, wake up and coach. But the thing is, it doesn't feel like murder to my soul. I was up at 1 a.m. I was bright and like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and laughing with my client and having fun. That's not to say there are no challenges and everything is ideal, right? But it's to say that it feels easy on my soul and it's something that I want to do. It doesn't feel like it's destroying my soul. And a lot of that is coming from the fact that it's mainly in alignment with my values. And also when the challenges come, the thing is, when something is in alignment with your values, it's easy to understand your why, right? Like that book that everybody's quoting about Know Your Why, right? It's so easy to know your why, and you don't have to search for it. You don't have to keep reminding yourself. It's not a needle in a haystack. So when I'm doing live videos about, oh my God, I can't find venues in Sri Lanka. Oh my God, like I'm about to I can't get to Vietnam. I can't figure this out and I'm running out of money and, right? Yes, it's challenging, but it's a challenge I'm willing to stick through, right? Because it's in alignment with my values and because I know my why. So when we do things in accordance with our values, it gives us that extra push. When the going gets tough and we reach our challenges, it's easier for us to stick it through because we have that persistence. And that persistence comes from somewhere. It's that we know this is something that we believe in, the thing that we're working on, the way we're making money, the job that we're at, the company that we're building. We believe in it because it's in alignment with our values. So when we're doing the overtime, when we're working the crazy hours, it's not like, oh my God, why am I even doing this? It's, yeah, and we don't even think about it, right? So that's what ease means, is that it's not killing you. You're not having to go afterwards and, oh my God, I've worked overtime until 4 a.m. I'm going to need like a full-on acupuncture session because my spirit literally had to carry my body through that. And that's also a big thing that people don't understand, is that this is how we get burnt out, because it's that you're doing something. It's the misconception that we have in our current lifestyles is that burnout comes from overworking and doing too much work, right? But burnout comes from doing something that is completely not in alignment with your soul, right? Is that your spirit is literally having to do so much work to power you up, to keep you going. And at some point it just goes, F it, I can't. It's a lot, right? And then we just completely get burnt out, and because we're not honoring our spirit. So even when it's not just about spending in alignment with our values, right? It's also about creating an income and building an income that's in alignment with our values. And I know that a huge thing that's coming up that most people have, that comes up in the Money Magic course, is that I don't know what my values are, actually. And I want to say you do, but if you're at that point, you also need the Money Magic course, right? But there's also the fact that we go deeper. So now you know what your values are. And I promise you, you don't need to make income in like all the ways that align with your values, but at least like one of the top values, right? So if you value integrity and you're working for a boss or a company where you know they're lying, right? And they're not being integrity, they're not being in integrity and they're doctoring the books. Guess what? That's gonna take its toll on you. You're gonna find yourself like hating work. Work is going to feel like a strain. All these things count. So it's about understanding what the core values are. And yeah, so if this is resonating with you, I think you already know there's a reason why the Money Magic course is a lifetime access, because this is like literally 1% of the income work that we do. But even if you just start focusing on this, it could really help you. And it's about learning how to get back into alignment. So join me for the masterclass tomorrow. So we have a masterclass tomorrow, 6 p.m. South African time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join the masterclass. The link for that is wealthy-money.com/masterclass. Again, it's wealthy-money.com/masterclass. Join the masterclass. We right now in the Money Magic, I'll be opening up the Money Magic course tomorrow. And right now in the Money Magic course, we're talking about really interesting things like buying income generating assets to pay for your lifestyle and all that. And we also have a full on, I kid you not, we have a full on 16-day income challenge. And the 16-day challenge is not what you think. It's not, oh, manifest 100,000 Rand or manifest $20,000 or something in 30 days or 16 days. That's not what this is not what it's about. It's about going deeper so that you unlock your own inner wisdom about how to make money, and better yet, how to start utilizing money so that you can make that money to create a passive income. So it's a mix of practical stuff and it's a mix of spiritual work. It's a mix, like we go there, a lot of the mix of the spiritual work and a mix of the emotional work and just healing so that we can start unblocking our blocks around income, but also start thinking differently about making money, right? So hope to see you guys in the masterclass and eventually see you guys in the Money Magic course. Anyway, let me go. I promised Evelyn I was gonna knock on her door 15 minutes ago. So okay, I don't know what I did, but I seem to have switched. Oh, there we go. I can do that. Oh, I just learned something new. I switched the viewing thing in my room. So I wanted to say I am heading off to dinner. Yeah, it's like 6:46 p.m. out here. So I'm heading to dinner. Let me know your thoughts, comment in the group, and today's Sharing Saturday in the Money Magic group. Share with us what you're doing to make income. Share with us about your business, all those things. Oh my gosh, one day we're going to have to do vows of invisibility and how those hold us back from making an income. But that's a story for a whole other day. Cheers.